even when I knew, that the Netflix documentary was a very balanced piece, because that was the only condition I had put, that it needs to be balanced, because I don't want people to feel that
biased.
it's propaganda.
Okay. I do have to ask you about those mysterious calls and messages. Where do you think they came from?
Peter's family stopped her from, contacting me. Of course, I felt, hurt about it. So don't cry in front of the camera.
I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah. Always wanted to be a dancer. Actually, that is my goal.
Okay.
Yes. I am going to smile as much as I want to. I'm sorry, viewers.
Hello and welcome to ABP Live. I'm Trisha Kapur, and with me is someone who's been at the center of many discussions, especially since the Netflix documentary, The Buried Truth, Indrani Mukerjea Story. Hello, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you, Trisha. How are you?
All great. She's also been the CEO of INX Media and the co-founder along with Peter Mukerjea. So can you tell us a little bit about INX and how it was for you? There were a lot of questions raised by the media and a bunch of just rumors about how things were at INX. Would you like to talk about that?
I started INX Media along with a couple of investors. Of course, Peter was the co-founder. Peter, who's my ex-husband, was the co-founder along with me. We started INX Media in 2007. So the mandate that was given to me in particular was basically to launch INX Media, which was a slew of channels.
The workspace and the gender pay. Obviously, you didn't feel that when you were the CEO, but did you
I felt it.
You did?
I felt it, yes.
And could you tell us a little bit about how you felt it?
I felt it, in fact, for me, when I was given the mandate to set up INX Media, or even prior to that, when I was running INX Global, my HR firm. I felt at that point it was much more. I think today, it is in that progressive mode where women are given more equal, I wouldn't say equal, but more opportunities than it was in 2007 or 8. But even at that time, I do feel that, when I was setting up, the reason I became the face of INX Media, or I was made the CEO, was because Peter was on a gardening leave, you see.
Do you think it wouldn't have happened otherwise?
Absolutely not. That's what I talk about, destiny, you see. So that is what I talk about, situations, circumstances. So, but at that point, also, I think people did not believe that my mandate was only to launch the network, so which I did on time, and in fact a couple of channels before time. Oh, how is she going to do it? And I did face it, mind you. And the moment there is my mandate was, the mandate given to me was never to run the channel after it was launched. But anyway, but then somebody had to do it, right? So I had to continue doing it because nobody was taking responsibility. I just got pushed into it. I was plunged into it, right? So that was the situation, but I did whatever best I could. I did to the best of my ability. But, I did face it where, ki wo to aurat hai, kitna kar legi, that kind of thing. Yes. So now it is also when a man makes it big, do you say that he's a social climber? You don't say that. And how does a man get from being nowhere to becoming a CEO? Okay? I'm sure he has done something. I don't know whether he slept with his boss. I don't know whether he did whatever he had to do. Or whether he stabbed his boss and then became the CEO. I don't know about that. But or it was just his capabilities. But it is very, very difficult for society even today.
Basically, those questions are not raised for a man at all.
It is never raised. I mean, for example, I'll just give you this thing. When the documentary came out, so there were certain distincts, oh, she didn't cry. why aren't you, there are other men? Are you going to say this about a man if he doesn't cry in a documentary?
We've heard so many different versions of Indrani Mukerjea. Who is the real version? What
Well,
is
I
the real
have
version?
answered that question so many times, and I think now that there is so much of talk or different versions, like you said, I think it is important for everybody to decide who I
Right.
am.
Fair
And
enough,
I think
yeah.
it is very, also interesting to keep an element of mystery. That is what I think makes you a more interesting person.
Right.
So I think I will leave it to all the viewers to decide who I really am.
Okay, fair enough, but at the same
Since
time,
my life
yeah.
is already an open book, I
Yes,
have
I was
also
just going to say
authored a
that.
book. I
Yes.
have authored a book called Unbroken. I have actually written everything about my life in that book.
Right.
And it is now, the takeaway from there is, of course, up to the readers. And I've given multiple interviews. Now I have no count of that anymore about myself.
Right.
Yeah, but I think, life has certain plans for you. And today when I look back, I just feel that things happen for a reason. And I realize it, that had I not gone through in the last few years, whatever I did go through, or I would not have gone back to a single status. Now I am single.
Right.
I think I would have been making fried eggs for Peter in Spain. So I think everything, there's a reason why everything happens.
Okay. Speaking of relationships, you fell in love thrice. Unfortunately, none of the relationships worked out. Do you still believe in the concept of love, or love itself?
Okay. Trisha, let me correct you on that. I actually did not fall in love thrice.
Okay.
So my first relationship was, I think it was more of an arrangement for situations and circumstances which I was thrown into. But I have been very clear in my book that that was definitely, I was never in love. Okay, but yes, I did fall in love very much with Sanjeev when I was in Calcutta. And, love really never dies, right? So that stays. Your relationship may not work out. Maybe I'm just, not a relationship person. Maybe.
Okay.
I don't know. But anyway, it didn't work out with him. And as far as Peter goes, I think we started off as friends, and then it was more of, we started doing some work together. And, over a period of time, yes, I did start loving him.
Correct.
And of course I was with him for so many years, for over 18 years. And I think, everything doesn't have to always work out the way you plan it to be, right?
Nothing ever does.
Yeah, nothing ever does, right? So, but you asked me that question, do I believe in love?
Yes.
Absolutely. I do believe in love. Would I ever get into a relationship again, or would I ever get married again? I don't know about marriage, but if I fall in love, yes, maybe I will get into a relationship again, and I'll make sure that the man knows how to make fried eggs.
Or boiled eggs.
Or boiled eggs, yes, the easier option.
The easier option, right.
Yeah.
Social media is a big thing now and you're very active on it.
Yes.
So do you think social media helps people escape their problems, so to speak, or escape reality?
Actually, I was never a social media person.
What got you into
yes, I'm just coming to that. I got onto social media for the first time on the 1st of June.
Okay.
And the reason behind that was, when I talk about social media, I'm just on Instagram, right?
Okay.
So that was because of the launch of my book, which was on the 31st of July in 2023. And, a lot of people just put out travel things or just food, or they want to portray, they want to put out on Instagram or social media only what they want people to see and believe.
Their best version.
So their best version. So that is, I think, when you are, in that bubble.
Okay.
So my first couple of posts were a little bit about kickboxing, and then it was a bit of travel. I traveled to Leh and Ladakh. and that was a solo trip and it was lovely. So I put that out, and then I said, hang on, and my followers were increasing very, very quickly, you know, from zero. Even before I realized I had a few thousands, and I'm saying, hang on, all these people who are following me, they actually really don't know who I am, you know.
Correct.
So fast. So I made it a point to write down, you know, I made three short kind of these things on what I did with my life in the last 6.5 years. This was just, and my PR team said, no, you cannot put this out. You lose all your followers, because the moment they know that you are the same Indrani Mukerjea, you know, you'll get a lot of hate.
Okay.
So I said that, let's give it a shot. So the moment I put those three posts out, it just, you know, one after the other.
Yeah.
So everyone kind of started sending me messages. Oh, you are the same Indrani Mukerjea.
Right.
So I said, yes, absolutely. I am the same Indrani Mukerjea. Now you need to take a call whether you want to follow me for who I am or you don't want to follow me. And even when I knew, you know, that the Netflix documentary was a very balanced piece, because that was the only condition I had put, that it needs to be balanced, because I don't want people to feel that it's propaganda or you're just making me look like I'm somebody with a halo around me. That's not what I wanted. Let people take out. Some people will hate me, some people will love me.
Let them decide.
Let them decide. But I also promoted my Netflix documentary. You know, despite the fact that there were versions in that which made me look a little bit not as appealing as a narcissist would expect, or a person on social media wants to put out their best version. And my reason for doing that was only to ensure that, hey guys, you need to just know about what everybody thinks about me.
Putting yourself out there, coming on this OTT platform and having a Netflix documentary, speaking on so many talk shows in newsrooms, a lot of people don't get that chance. So one, do you think you are able to craft a new narrative for yourself? And do you think that finally this chapter, this case is going to get closed now?
I do believe that there is something called karmic justice. And I feel that the very fact that I am back in the same studios, I am doing much more than what I did earlier. You know, I'm on, you know, talk shows everywhere. I'm in conclaves. I am getting invited to universities to inspire students. I think whatever people feel about me is irrelevant, but somewhere up there, the big guy, I think, is doing karmic justice for me. And I genuinely believe in that.
So you've been a household name from 2015 coming to now, and where all the allegations were there versus now when you're making a comeback. So what was your mind state then and what is it like now?
I am, Trisha, a very, very positive person, always. And I do believe that if you are in your heart, okay, if you are a good person, and I do believe, yes, you know, you may make mistakes. That is very different, okay? Making mistakes is another thing, and we are all bound to, we are human beings, and human beings err all the time. That is one part of it. But when you mean no harm to anyone is, I think, the essence of a good human being. Okay, so that is what I feel. I also feel that self-love is very important, even at the cost of being called a narcissist. It does not matter if anyone thinks I'm a narcissist, but if I am not being able to love myself, I don't think I am in a position to love anyone else.
There's this whole concept of femme fatale, which was just thrown at you. So how do you think this played into your life, and how did it cause turmoil, or what was going on in your life at the time?
See, turmoils can be caused in your life at any point. Like I said, people's opinions are people's opinions. I do not wish to change them. I think you have to move on if you're going to sit and cry about things that, oh, this is what X thinks, Y thinks. It doesn't work that way. I mean, you look at all the kind of leaders in the world, people have diverse opinions about, you know, them. I mean, it always ends up, you know, as even I talk about, you know, the biggest kind of, I wouldn't call them celebrities, leaders, you know, like presidents and prime ministers, who people at one point made fun of and thought that, oh, they were like, you know, absolutely a no-no, and they're jokers, and they're this, and they're fools, and then they're sitting in the White House after that. So it's all right.
Fair enough.
They haven't given up, right?
After everything that has happened, what now is family to you? What does family mean to you?
Well, I think my family has become much larger than what I had earlier.
Okay.
So I have actually, you know, made so many real friends and family.
Okay.
Okay. I have friends who are my friends for who I am. They know me. They know that I can sometimes be a little bit wild.
Yeah.
And because I'm free-spirited.
Right.
But I think they love the me as I am. And friends are, you know, family. You have the, you know, opportunity to choose, you know.
So you wouldn't say blood is thicker than water. You don't believe in that?
Not really. Not at least with my own experience. I wouldn't say that, because I have felt time and again the closest people have stabbed me. The people closest to me have let me down. Whether it is, you know, blood ties, or it is otherwise. Just if you want to walk along with me, walk along with me.
Yeah.
But there is that, you know, person somewhere, I'm sure. Because it is not easy also. See, I am, while I'm very free-spirited, you know, I am also kind of a very strong person. So somebody to be with me has to be equally strong or stronger.
Right, right.
You know, because I do have, you know, a very, you know, a life which is got a lot of unexpected twists and turns. So it has to, a man has to be a man, a real man, a real man. So I don't know if the real man exists.
Does he exist? Yeah.
Does he really exist? So if he does, so even if he doesn't know how to make boiled eggs, I shall, you know, be fine.
Yeah,
but
have to compromise somewhere.
No, yes, that is going to be my compromise, that he can't cook boiled eggs.
Yeah.
But apart from that, yes, I mean, he has to understand my spirit. I think that is very important.
Okay.
Yeah.
So before we go, one last question to you is, we spoke a lot about relationships and falling in love. Today's marriage is very different, but the institution is the same. So do you think it ties a woman down? Do you think patriarchy is fully involved still, and you know, it controls the woman more? You have to change your surname. What is your take on the whole thing?
I think misogyny still exists. Okay, I do believe in that, and not just in India. I think it globally exists.
Okay.
Right? You have kind of, you are aware of the differences in wages as far as you know, male and female kind of, this thing goes, you put in the same amount of effort, and there are certain expectations, I believe, you know, that the society has from a woman, which they don't have from a man.
When Peter's family kind of tried to sway Vidhie against you, and she was an impressionable child, I can say, or at young 20s maybe. But, and then she went on to call you Lucy. How did that feel, and how is your equation with her now?
Vidhie, I think at one point, was a very impressionable child, and she did, because she was a child, right? So she did go through a lot in her life. But I think Vidhie has my strength and my resilience, and I am so very proud of her. I'll tell you
Right.
why. Because amidst all the kind of circumstances, challenges that she has gone through, right from the time she was 17,
Yeah.
she has managed to complete her graduation very well. That, how did it make you feel when
Yes.
Peter's family stopped her from, contacting me? Of course, I felt, hurt about it when I
Yeah.
got to know about
Yeah.
it. But I also realized one thing that, any relationship has to be effortless and has to be unconditional. And which was probably the reason, Vidhie did that complete U-turn after a point.
Yeah.
And she told you've seen the
Yes,
documentary, and she said, forget it, I stand by my mother, because
Yeah.
I have never put a condition ever to Vidhie or anyone that, oh, you can't be in touch with this one, you can't be in touch with that one, you can't speak to that. You're an independent person.
Yeah.
You're
Do
free
what
to
you want.
do
Yeah.
what you want,
Yeah.
But I'm going to cry in my own moments when I have to cry. I don't have to show, see, if it happens, it happens. But I don't have to, on one side, I cannot say, hey, listen, I'm this strong woman kicking, okay,
Yeah.
whatever. But, and on the other side, you are expecting me to sit and cry. Are you serious? Why do I need to show my tears to you? I shall
Yeah.
not. And I
Yeah.
will not. Until and
Yeah.
unless, I can't stop myself. That's different. But,
Yeah.
so that is where we are. So, I think it is very important to remain positive. I feel you need to share your happiness and your love with everybody around. And I feel your grief and your sadness, you have to deal with it privately in your own moments, because you want to spread love and happiness and joy and not sadness and grief. That is, my belief and my message to everyone. So don't cry in front of the camera.
I'll keep that in mind. Thank you so much for sharing your story.
Thank
It was
you,
lovely
Trisha.
talking to you.
And it was so lovely to actually meet you, honestly.